Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mark Jones, 7720. Oh, 773, not 720, my bad. Mark Jones, Big Mark 773. Okay. Straight up, good people. I'm on here today to talk to you about the future. You know, I've been thinking really hard lately, and things are coming out. And people said 2019 for the PlayStation 5, and I got called by somebody I call my friend a dick rider. Now everything is pointing towards 2019. Everything is pointing towards 2019. Now I know some people are going to say, no, it's going to be 2021. No, it's not. I'm sorry, it's not going to be 2021. It's going to be 2019. And like I was telling good people, like, look, if you don't want to buy it, you ain't got to. You know I'm going to buy it. But you don't have to buy it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to buy it. Okay. So, what does this mean for us as gamers? Okay? We have to think about real hard about what this does mean. We are looking at a total reshuffling of the plate when it comes to everything that we playing right now, you know? We have to be prepared for things to be different. You know, some people, you know, they're not going to be ready for it, and that's understandable. You know, it's hard to accept change sometimes, but that's part of the game, you know? Change comes, whether you want it to or not, you know? So that's out of the way. What do we need to do? We need to get ourselves in order for what is coming next. That is next-gen consoles. That's also what the next-gen consoles even mean, you know, for us as consumers. We should get ourselves prepared for that. You know, we need not to be in denial and to lie to ourselves and saying, oh, this is going to be the same as it was last time. That is not the case. You know, you can lie to yourself all you want to lie to yourself, but next-gen consoles are coming whether you want them to or not. You know, that's just the reality of it all, you know? So all I say to my brothers and sisters out there in the land, no matter where you come from, no matter who you are, you know, do yourself a favor, prepare yourself for what is next in the line of things to come. Do not put your mind and think, oh, this ain't going to happen, that ain't going to happen. I'm not trying to tell you what is and what ain't going to happen. I'm telling you what's coming down the pipe. That's what it's about for me. I don't need to lie to you. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to lie to you. I just need to tell you the truth. You know? At the end of the day, it's up to you to take the information if you want it or not. You know? That's at the end of the day. No matter what anybody else say to you, it's up to you to take this information. You know? So, then I hear people talk about, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do... No, that's not going to happen, people. You know, you want to be honest with yourself, and that's the most important thing. Be honest with yourself. You know, if you want to think that, okay, well, the situation is going to be the same as it was last year, it's not again. Don't lie to yourself. You're lying to yourself thinking that the next gen consoles are going to be the same as last gen consoles. That is not how it works, and it's never been like that. Every new generation of consoles come and things change. Either who's at the top, who's at the bottom, or whatnot. Now, in my personal opinion, this upcoming gen, Sony's going to dominate again because they have the games that everybody's talking about, everybody's thinking about. Microsoft has not built the foundation for something like that yet. Are they building it? Maybe. Do I think they're building it? Maybe. Will they build it? Maybe not. I'm just being honest when I say that. I don't think Microsoft have it in them to make a console that's capable of competing with Sony's. That's just me. Now, I know other people will come at me, oh, you're a Sony fanboy, you're a Sony dick rider. Okay, you can say all that if you like. That makes you feel better, but you got to realize that you people have been talking about Halo, Gears, and Forza for fucking ever. Now, let me tell you something. I love pussy as much as the next man, right? I love sex as much as the next man. I do. And I love my woman more than anything, right? And the thing about her is that she's not going to be the same person she was 5 years ago. You're playing the same games for the last 10 years. Now, okay, there are different iterations It's like right now I'm playing Call of Duty. Regardless, since Modern Warfare Call of Duty 4, it's still basically the same game. Better textures, better movement, but technically, it's still Call of Duty. Right? Since 07. This is still Call of Duty. It's been 10, 11 years of this here. And people are under the ignorant impression that, okay, if this happens, that happens. That's not where we at it, baby. You know, we got to realize that, you know, if you're going to want to, how can I say? I'm trying to make it clear, you know. You know, I'm trying to make it like really cool for you guys to understand what I'm trying to say, because I don't want to say it wrong. You know, you got to realize that where we at right now. You know, I know a lot of you are. You know, we all pick our side of who we want to win the next gen. You know, that's cool, but we have to be honest. Okay, we have to be honest. More than anything, you know, if you want to be honest, then I'm with you. If you want to lie to yourself, then you can just lie to yourself by yourself. I ain't doing that with you. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing this whole making shit up thing, right? Now, some people will come at me saying, oh, you know, you just don't like Microsoft. That ain't what it's about, baby. What it's about is that they're not really providing anything to have the reason to call your loyalty for them. There's no loyalty needed for them. Honestly, to a certain extent, I don't think you should give your loyalty to anybody but your significant other, your woman, you know? To be honest, if you want me to be real, and your family and your kids, if they're good enough people. But as far as you giving your loyalty to a company because they represent a certain piece of material that you're loyal to is retarded to me. Now, I'll say this. Sony has given me the games I want to play. They have a ninja game, a samurai game set back in ancient times. They have enough. Now people say, well, Sony don't have no open world racing game, no Gears of War type game. The truth of the matter is, people on PlayStation don't want Gears of War. If we want to play Gears of War, we'll play motherfucking Xbox. That's just the truth. And I try to tell this to these people on Twitter all the time. What you're not understanding is nobody wants to play with Xbox. Well, that's not true. I hear Greg Miller say, Greg Miller don't speak for us. Let me give you an example, right? I try to tell these idiots all the time. They think every black person is Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton. That's not all of us. It's just like, I'll be like, yo, bruh, you try to put a definition on a whole group of people because you think one person represents them. Retarded. Outright retarded. But people will say stupid stuff like that to us all the time. Well, you know, Al, are you serious? I feel like, yo, man, these people actually think that we all follow Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson up their ass. No, that's not who we are. Now, true enough, most black people are Democrats because the Republican Party don't offer us anything. That's, if you want me to be truthful with you, that's why most black people are Democrats. Republicans don't care to offer us anything. Never did, never will, and that's just the way it is. And bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. I'm just kidding. No, honestly though, just being real. They don't care to be inclusive with us as a political party. But let's get off of that. I don't want to talk about that shit right now. Anyway, back over to the main subject at hand, right? We are available on this next level gen thing that's coming up very soon. This is just my point of view. Now, I'm not telling anybody else to follow what I'm saying. I ain't telling you that you got to. I'm not forcing you to come behind me on anything. All I'm saying is you have to be honest with yourself as a consumer. And if you want to get what Microsoft is giving you, happy with it, then God bless you. I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. I'm here to just tell you that I don't want nothing that Microsoft is offering me. You know, that doesn't make me wrong either. That just makes me feel like that I'm not interested in what they have to offer. You know? And I think when we come to that understanding to respect each other's opinion and each other's ideas of that, then we're good. What we run into a problem is when a person tells me, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about. Microsoft is great at sliced bread. To you, they're great at sliced bread, not to me. And then vice versa, the same situation with people that are on my side of the fence that feel like Sony does no wrong, which is a lie too. That's not true. Sony fucks up just like everybody else because they're human. They're not gods or anything like that. Please stop worshiping at their feet. Okay, now let's talk about the good stuff, okay? For me. Now, I'm not saying for you, but for me. Okay. So going forward, I was thinking about what this next generation is going to look like. I said it on Twitter, but now I'm going to say it right here. We have to think about 4K 60, but it might be like 1440p, it might be 1800p, ultra settings, then checkerboard it up to that, right? I think there should be 2 modes in every game, right? Let's say the majority of games are 60 frames a second. This is going for the Xbox 2, which I don't give a shit about, or the next Nintendo I don't give a shit about, or the Google machine I don't give a shit about right now. Now, let's move over and say, okay, most games are either 1440p, 1800p, 4K, but about a good 90% or 95% come out at 60 frames a second. Okay, that's cool. That's great, right? So let's go with mode number 2. Let's say, or even 3, maybe 3 modes, okay? Okay, so top mode is 4K 60, either checkerboarded, typically enhanced, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's just basically upscale from a lower resolution to the top resolution so it can fit on your screen. Okay, let's say of these 3 possibilities. Next resolution, lock that 1440p across the board. Everything turned up to ultra settings, not max settings, but ultra settings, ultra shadows, ultra textures across the board, but at 80 frames a second. Now you're thinking to yourself, okay, would the hardware be powerful enough? Of course it will. Sony's using that on the GPU side. On the CPU side, it's going to be Ryzen++. It's not going to be Ryzen 2. It's going to be Ryzen++ with their own ultra threading, Ripper, or all that other good stuff. And I have no idea what the heck they're talking about because I play games and I don't. Listen, I play games, not, things they make it. You know what I'm saying? Just being real. So at the end of the day, we have to think about this as consumers. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. So, last idea for a resolution, what the game is set at, and everything like that. So at the top end, it's set at max settings or full settings. Like, it's not set at medium settings. It's set at like high. I got it. At 4K, whatever it's going to be at high settings. What? Anybody on the phone, boy? Go ahead. Go. Okay. At 1440p, it's set at max settings. Now, we're talking about Ultra. MK Ultra. Okay, here we go. Ultra. Let's say our console can hit, the next generation of consoles can hit 120 frames a second, 1080p, HDR. All of those 3 will have some form of HDR. Let's say that too. All forms of HDR. Okay, some form, not all forms. So we have HDR on all 3 of these preferred things, but the last frame rate is 100 frames a second, 120 frames. So why would I say that? Think about this for a minute. If you haven't updated, I have a 2018 4K television sitting in front of me. If I set this TV resolution at 1080p, and if it can take it, I think this television could do 1080p and 120 frames a second. Imagine what that would mean. It would literally push the PC out of the market. Because I don't know how much the console will cost. I'm gonna be honest with you, is it coming out next year that I'm thinking it's gonna cost $500, maybe $6. It ain't gonna cost $7, so don't get that out of your mind. But $500, yes, $500 is gonna be up there. And I think honestly we should prepare ourselves for that. Shouldn't lie to ourselves and let people lie to you and tell you, oh, it's going, no. It's going to be expensive. It's not going to be a cheap thing. I'm going to get in this game and talk at the same time, so don't worry, people. You know, I got to do this challenge with domination, you know. Okay, then I have to shoot people in the head with the shotgun again. So, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. So, we have to think about what is necessary for us in our entertainment. If we have these 3 modes, so what about people on 1080p TV? 1080p, 60 frames a second. You're still going to have it. Maybe they're going to have some form of down sampling for you, automatically make you happy. But other than that, you're going to have to think about it for a second, like, okay, it's going to be this way. Okay? And I think, honestly, we should not expect much more than that. You know? Damn. I whacked his ass with the shield. Uh-oh. Goodbye. Thank you, bro. You did it, man. Yo, mama. Yeah, your mama, man. Oh, shit. I mean, I get killed. Uh-oh. Oh, you know good, son of a gun. Get out of here, bruh. I mean, I ain't got to pull my trigger at all. I like the shield. The shield is a good little... Goodbye. I'm gonna run right to it, man. Thing I don't understand, why ain't anybody got the damn rocket launchers out? Rocket launcher, stop that. The shield. I mean, I don't understand why everybody got the rocket launcher. That's what I'll be having, the rocket launcher. Rocket launcher knock the shit out the shield. Oh, this nigga needs to go. Let's go. It's a fairly accurate gun. I'm gonna have to use this boy a little bit. Woo! I ran right into that one. Oh, come on, bruh. Shit, man, that fucking shield is the beast. We got slaughtered. That was fucked up. I don't know what they're gonna do next. Team deathmatch. Gift for fun. All of it worked for me. $3.99. I like that. Why not open the box and see what we got in here? Wow. Oh, yeah, 90,000 now. Okay. 9,000. All right. So, back to the thing that I want to talk about, right? So, next generation consoles moving to being more powerful. And I think that's fine if we're moving in that direction as consoles go. Okay, so the hardware's out of the way. The hardware is important, but it's not the most important thing to worry about. It is the software. Now, it is something that all of us should consider. You know what I'm saying? Before we even get started on this conversation, is that we have to worry about what the software is going to look like. How much is this software going to cost? Because I think the model of games staying at $60 is over. I think that's over. I think that's over. I know some people are going to try to think it's going to happen like it's going to stay the same price. It's not going to, you know. It can't. You know, you have to look at it from what is going on right now. So you have to think about it like that as things move forward. It's not going to be that easy for them to keep it at that low price. You know? You're gonna have to think about it as they're thinking about it, as they go ahead and try to make it more profitable for them to stay in the video game industry. And that's what you got to think of. You got to think about it like that. You know what I'm saying? That is a part of the thing that's going to happen. You're going to have to think about it like that. I know a lot of you are going to want to think, okay, it's going to be easy for these companies to just keep everything the same. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. What'll happen is they're gonna want to make more money. And when that day comes, ooh, well, damn. Well, I ain't get a chance to use it. But when that day happens, you know it's going to be like a change in the industry, because a change in the industry is going to happen anyway. That's a part of the game that we have to realize that always seems to happen, you know? So we're moving forward on the technological side. Now we have to move forward on the software. So what does that entail? Does that entail better AI, better textures, better all that? I know that's part of the thing, but that's going to come at an added cost. Now, the video game industry is more profitable than movies, to be honest with you. It is. You know what I'm saying? It truly is. It's more profitable. It makes more money. It's more valuable in some ways. That's why a lot of other people are thinking about jumping in the video game industry one way or the other. Oh, excuse me. So we got to look at it like that as well. You know? And we have to also understand that when we're moving towards a different kind of industry, and the video game industry starts to change, we got to also realize as consumers that this industry is going to outgrow us, the hardcore, when things become more mainstream, more mainline. But also, I hope that expands the ideal of categories of games. I would like to have not rated mature, but adult. These are adult games. These are mature games. These are teen games. These are everyone's games, you know? And I think they really need to think about that and stop being sensitive or censoring people's creative freedom. Why not show titties in the game? Free porn all over the internet. All over the internet. But you can't see a set of titties in Resident Evil. You can't do it. They're not going to show it to you. I don't know why. You go to Twitter right now, you can see a fresh set of titties every single day. But that is how they're doing it, because I get the reason why. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Why do that? I don't get the reason why, but I understand why the idea of trying to keep the things a little bit more centered, because you know a lot of kids still do play video games, even though I don't see children as the main consumers of games anymore. It just isn't. It ain't like it was decades ago. Mario Brother is still an important game to those who are man-children. But for us who are adults, we don't play Mario. But there are a lot of people that do. And I don't hate on those that do, you know? At the end of the day, you have to respect everybody's opinion, you know, when it comes to stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta respect that. And I think that's the number one thing that I came to in this whole idea, is that that's the fact of respect. You know, respecting people's what they want to play. And I also like the fact that, you know, video games are starting to open up and you get more characters of different nationalities. You get female characters now. It's way more inclusive. Now, I will say one thing though, from my point of view, that I don't seem to understand is going on. Okay, I don't understand the idea of making all the female characters ugly as shit. Aloy, I love Aloy. Don't get it twisted. I love Aloy. Love me some Aloy. But I don't understand why Aloy ain't fine. You know what I'm saying? Don't understand that. I don't understand why the need to make her so like a plain Jane. She's not. Aloy is an extraordinary female that saved the world, whose ancestor was extraordinary. You know? It's not like I want her to be a supermodel or nothing like that, but that's not the reality we live in, you know? I think what they're trying to do is stop trying to use a caricature of what women are and what they look like, but to be honest with you, most men I know would like to see Aloy be a fine woman. You know what I'm saying? I think at the end of the day, it's just opinion on this for me. You know, but at the end of the day, I think, you know, we have to be honest. You know? Have to be honest about it that, you know, we don't want to play a female that looks like a plain Jane. We don't. We as men don't want that. You know? You know, at the end of the day, you got to realize that's the way that the world is set up. You know, people want to see pretty girls and certain situations and whatnot, and it's just being honest, you know? I hear this thing that I hear a lot of people say SJW, which doesn't make any sense to me in a sense that, you know, we having this ideal of people saying, oh, we don't understand why there's more female characters and whatnot. I say this on that point into the next generation. We need a diversity of females, males. You know what, to be honest with you, even with sexual orientation, you're going to have to diversify because these people are out here. It ain't like they're in the closet no more. So, I was looking at this thing about Scarlett Johansson playing a transgendered person, right? Scarlett Johansson. So they were saying, well, maybe we shouldn't have a straight woman play a transgender. I've been looking on YouTube, right? If most transgenders want to look like women, why not use a real woman to play one? I thought we wanted to get away from these labels and shit like that, but I guess we really don't. Because at the end of the day, we still doing it, you know? I said it like, if a white man can play Pharaoh, then a woman can play a transgender. Get the fuck out of here. I don't get that idea of why we still sit here on that foolishness. Uh-oh. You know? You know? So, you know, a lot of people come at me weird about it, what I feel. And it's okay, you know, you have the reason, you have the right to disagree with me and what I believe in, you know. It don't make me God or anything. It don't make me right either. It's just what I believe as a person from my point of view. And every time I look at it, if these transgender people, no disrespect to them, and please don't get mad at me, transgender people, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if your goal is to look like a female and to be a female, right? Name the transgender person that can play one of you that look like a real woman. Not saying there ain't no actresses or actors who can't do that, but most of it is not like that. And you know that as well as I do. So, at the end of the day, you know, you're going to find people to play the part that best suits them, you know? You know, I hear this idea of why not put the best person in the whole idea, right? That's a cop-out because you already know that certain people are already going to have an advantage coming into that whole situation, like with jobs, right? You can't never get black people to do certain kind of jobs if you never allowed them to do that job anyway. You know? So we move forward as individuals and whatnot, and we try to be honest about it, but to be honest with you, they're never going to be really honest about it, about what really needs to happen. You know? So, you know, so Scarlett Johansson's playing a transgender person who's trying to be a woman. I don't see a problem with that. You know, same thing with gaming. We gotta get beyond the point where we at. You know, I'll be honest. I want ALE to get some dick in her life. I mean, personally, that's how I feel. I think ain't nothing better for a woman than a man and vice versa. But that's me coming from me that's a straight person, and I don't understand where a gay person come from on their whole idea. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me being real. Personally, I'm not meant to understand why a person wants to be a certain sexuality. That's not for me to understand, because I am a straight person, cis, whatever they want to call it. You know? Straight people are not meant to understand certain things because we are straight. Just like certain things that women go through that us as men, we will never understand because we're not a woman. We don't have a vagina. You know? Basically, you know, I'm just saying, being honest. And people try to make it sound like we're all the same. We're not all the same. We've never been all the same. We always had different things with us and culturally and other things like that. This is part of the thing of being human is. You know, at the end of the day, you know, the best thing we could do is just be righteous to each other and be happy with what we're going to get in this next generation. I'm not going to bash Microsoft or anybody for what they want. You know, they believe that Microsoft is going to get them the next generation, even though I still say they're the council of hopes and dreams. They hope they get this, they dream they're going to get this, and they never get anything that they really should have. And I feel bad for them. Now, let's keep it at video gaming. Hopefully we move beyond this, you know? But like I said to Solid Rev, you know, I heard, was it a magazine? It was either next, I forget the name of it was so many video game publications at that time. And if you think about it, the Japanese guy made a lot of sense. He used a white person as a main character because it was non-controversial. Now, you see, as we move along in history, where people have knowledge now and shit makes sense, you can't have a white man playing Pharaoh or a black woman playing Queen Victoria. It's not going to fly. You know what I'm saying? And the truth of the matter is, you're going to have to stop doing that. That fits the character. You know, certain people, you know, they try to get in where they fit in, and I'm not that type of person. You know, I try to do that shit a little bit, but I'm not that type of person. I can't get in where I fit in because really I don't fit in. You know, I don't fit in. So I come at it as being a human being. At least I'm trying to be. And I'm trying to be honest with people when I tell them how I feel. Some people don't take it the right way. Oh, you're just being, you know, you don't like this and that. Look, I'm a man. If I see a beautiful woman that's a lesbian, I'm still going to want to fuck her. You know? I'm a man. So, we come at it as being too hard on it, you know? People get angry and sensitive about a lot of things. Then there's certain things that should be sensitive and be right and wrong in our society, but we don't have that no more. We've lost sense of society. It's supposed to be video games. Sorry, man. It's a lot going on the political level that's getting to me. Anyway, back to the PlayStation and Xbox thing. So, next generation's coming. Now, I was listening to Crap Gamer. I was listening because I listen to everybody's podcast except certain people that's just straight up boring. If you're boring, I'm not going to watch you. Just the end of the day, I'm not going to. Okay, so I'm listening to Crap Gamer saying, boom! Every time they release a new console, it's going to be boom! And I'm listening to this guy. I'm like, brother, have you not played on Xbox as long as I have? Has that ever happened for Microsoft? No. If you play on Xbox, like I did in the 360 era, in the Xbox One era that I borrowed from my cousin. If you think about it, since 2002, it's been the same games. There's nothing that has changed, to be honest. If you want to be real with it, be real with it. The games are basically the same. Nothing has ever stopped being what it's been. It's been the same games ever since a long time now. It's been damn near 20 years. Halo is damn near a 20-year-old franchise. And this is what those who play on Xbox need to appreciate, that if you do not start to innovate into different franchises and refresh existing franchises into something completely different, you're going to stagnate. And they're already there. You know, they're already there, and their fan base is not accepting that. You know, I heard them say, oh, I love Nier Automata. And I'm sitting here like, wait a minute. Ain't you the same motherfuckers that said you didn't like the game because it's some Jap crap? And, and to me, I'm being honest when I say this. To me, I find people disloyal. What I hate more than anything is a motherfucker that ain't loyal. And to be honest with you, a lot of JRPG developers are not loyal. I wouldn't give Microsoft anything. I wouldn't give that developing studio nothing. Because their fan base and their ownership didn't like you. Oh, now we like you. You know, I'm like, no, I don't get down like that. I don't like that. That's just me. You know? If you don't like me now, don't like me later. You know? I'm cool with that. You ain't gotta like me. But don't expect me to help you with your crap developer console either. You know? Just being honest. And people get mad and say, you know, Microsoft needs to stop Sony from having these exclusive Japanese games. Like you niggas gonna play it anyway. You know, Craig Harris made a great point. And he said, these some bitches feel entitled to get a game. To be honest with you, you're not entitled to anything. See, Sony was out here working and Microsoft was out here jerking. Doing the circle jerk. You get me? They're out here doing the circle jerk. They're not out here working, they're out here jerking. Circle jerking. That's what they were doing. And then we supposed to give them a pass. Well, we want Microsoft in the business. Maybe I don't want Microsoft in the business. It's like when they come back to this thing where I listen to a lot of, and I respect a lot of YouTubers for their opinion, you know? Well, maybe Sony needs to get off of this crossplay thing. Why help Microsoft in the least? You do understand we're talking about Microsoft, right? How do they need any help? To be honest with you, the company that needs help, honestly, if you think about it, to stay relevant in the game industry is Sony. We don't need to help Microsoft with anything. It's nobody's fault their exclusives suck. It's nobody's fault that they you know, they come at it in a crazy way. It's nobody's fault. And you know, I get this thing, right? Well, I was looking at this, I would go political one more time, right? Look at this thing where they said white people feel like they are being oppressed. And I'm sitting up here like, damn, nigga, we've been oppressed for how long? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what was our help? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if you feeling like you're oppressed and you feel like you being smothered by all these immigrants, then the truth be told, if you want me to be honest, they use those immigrants as a weapon against the black community right after the civil rights movement ended. They did. They use it as a weapon. If you want to be honest. And still to this day, now they're using Asians. Watch them start doing it. I'm telling you, they're going to start doing it. They're going to start using Asians as the model minority again. They already do that. If you ever, this is no offense to anybody that's Asian, right? Go look on YouTube and look up the modern minority and how they try to use Asians as a weapon against other minorities. And then now they're using us blacks. Well, at least we've never been rebellious, even though we don't do shit for the country. Against other minority groups that say they should be more inclusive of us. Huh? I'm confused. Shit. Now they trying to turn the game on other minority groups. Well, you know, all that good stuff that Martin Luther King and stuff did, you shouldn't benefit from that. You got to pay attention to the society we're living in. I'm rambling, I know, I'm a little bit tired, but that's just me. You gotta pay attention to the thing that's going on. Shift in the industry towards Microsoft. Now the gamers are not there with the industry. Being honest with you, this has been one of the most disruptive game generations ever for the industry. And I will tell you why. Because the industry wanted Microsoft's BS. Be honest with you, they wanted that. And people say, no, that's not true. Yes, it is. They're pushing that always online stuff in every game. This is Microsoft's idea. But see, the thing is, and I think that's why Sony is talking about expanding their studios, not expanding the number, but also making a couple of studios. They'll need to, you know, if they buy a Insomniac, I'll be cool with that. If they don't, okay, you know, whatever. At the end of the day, it's up to them to decide if they want to do that or not, right? I think Sony, in a sense, will become more like Nintendo, where whatever happens in the rest of the industry really don't affect them. Let's say one of these big first-person shooter games say, we no longer want to put our games on the PlayStation. PlayStation will make our own first-person shooter multiplayer game with kill streaks in it, like Call of Duty. What could you do about that? If Sony makes their own game and people latch onto that game on a multiplayer level, it would destroy Activision and it would destroy EA. And these companies need a kick in the rear end because they're not loyal. They're not loyal. Not loyal to Microsoft, not loyal to Sony. They're like that bitch in the club with a drink in her hand. She's looking for the first nigga that she think got the most money. And I don't like things like that because that's just being bogus, you know? In my opinion. Now, whatever else you want to do is your business. I'm not going to judge you one way or the other. You know, God made us all. We all love and happiness and all that other good stuff. But the thing about loyalty to me, it means a lot, loyalty. You know? Understand something, brothers and sisters. Loyalty means more to me than anything. If a person's not loyal to you or fall up with you over some BS, they've never been your friend. You know what I'm saying? I still feel bad about certain things in my past with people I grew up with because I have been that person at times who have not been loyal. And that's why I don't do that no more. If I'm down with you, I'm down with you from the womb to the tomb. You know what I'm saying? I'm down for you. I'm down with you. But some people, they don't know what that means. Being honest with you. And us as people of this gaming industry, loyalty means a lot. This upcoming Resident Evil game is going to sell the most on PlayStation. I'm already hearing that people saying they want to get the Resident Evil 3 remake, which is cool. I think that'd be a good idea, you know, to be honest with you. I think it will be an excellent idea. But the truth of the matter is, I don't know, can you really get that right now? Uh-oh. running around upstairs. I could have shot him. Damn, I missed my shot. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's like that though. And he did not give up. I don't know how the fuck he killed me, but he did on some BS. This is. Bullshit. That boy really wanted to get upstairs and take my spot. Fuck, man, come on. So yeah, it's like that where you gotta realize, good people, that loyalty to me means a lot, and that's just for me. I'm not gonna speak for nobody else in their particular belief system, because you ain't gotta be like me, you know. Family is key. Loyalty is key. Being respectful is key, you know. And if you don't have that, then I can't trust you. You know, we can disagree with each other and whatnot and be not liking what each other's opinion is, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to be loyal to you. You know, the thing about me is always about being loyal. You know, so, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is for certain people to be a certain kind of way, you know? And I'm not judging one way or the other. I can't judge you, you know? Only person who can judge you is your creator, your maker, your Lord, your Savior, you know? At the end of the day, it's up to you to decide what you want to do as a human being with what you got going on with your life. I'm not going to judge you, but at the end of the day, please be honest with yourself. Be loyal to yourself at least, you know? There's another thing I don't like, right? You know, people not loyal to even themselves to a certain extent, which is crazy, but they are. They're not. They're not really. So, at the end of the day, that's what it's always about. Bitch, nigga, oh my God. I'm so sick of this motherfucker. Thank you. He finally out of my spot. Anyway, so yeah. At the end of the day, that's what it's always about, good people. I just wish more people understood that. Oh, so, back over to our video game thing discussion. So, these companies don't have loyalty to one another. You know, they're all basically prostitutes. So, you know, at the end of the day, you got to realize this is basically where we at with it, you know? Just, you got to understand that. Also, going into this new generation of consoles, we gotta yeah, so, you know, I think the PS5 is going to be an interesting console when it comes out. And, you know, for those that want to play it, they'll be able to enjoy it, you know. Those that don't want to play it, they, you know, they have a console for you. It's called the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, you know. You got to realize how the game industry is set up, good people. So it's not here to help the competition. And if Sony caves in, the crossplay is basically helping the competition because they so freaking far behind. So, you know, moving forward, I think the game industry is changing in ways that is good, but also you got to understand that, you know, change is a part of everything in life. Nothing stays the same forever. It's never been like that. It never has been. So we're moving forward beyond. Let's talk about the next 7 years. Okay, so if the PlayStation 5, which I suspect will come out in 2019 at $500, maybe $600. I'm not set on the prices, one or the other. And they release Ghost of Tsushima as a launch title, as long as you can play The Last of Us with a $9 thing on it. So, okay, we'll upgrade The Last of Us to PlayStation 5 status for $9. And, you know, I think that'd be a good lunch lineup, along with the new Call of Duty, and whatever else they're going to do. I think they're going to have an updated version. We might be moving towards the next version of Spider-Man game. There will be another Persona. There's also this JRPG that's coming from Sony that's supposed to be really big that they keep talking about, but, you know, you're really not seeing anything on quite yet. Who knows what that is? We don't know when that's coming. We don't know anything about it. We just know it's part of their plans. And whenever that comes out, it'll be cool. Moving forward past that, what can we expect from this upcoming gen of consoles? So we get The Last of Us at the end, we get Ghost of Tsushima at the end, we get Spider-Man close to the end, and we get the game by Deacon Days Gone. So we're looking at possibly Horizon Zero Dawn 2, maybe The Last of Us, the last part of the trilogy. Who knows what's going to happen with that? Maybe the death of Ellie. I don't know what they're going to do with that, but who knows what they're going to do with it. You know what I'm saying? We are going to see the end of that franchise. So prepare yourself. I would like it to continue. I think also we're going to get a Detroit Become Human Part 2 in the next generation of consoles. And I kind of hope that the next one comes with a human point of view as well. come with a human point of view as well as, they have a more deeper storyline. Now, I said in a post to the people at, what's the name of the company? It's not Quantum Dream. It's the people who make Detroit Become Human. And I said, your next game should be about North and Marcus. It should also be about Alice. But I think, honestly, as much as I love Connor, he should end up falling in love with a woman. That would really spice up the game. And I think they should model this woman after his wife. He's married now, the actor that plays Connor, because he really didn't have an interest beyond that. And I think Alice and Kara should get a child that's a human. Humans should be more included into the next story, because instead of it's like Detroit Become Human, now this is our story. What if Kara doesn't live in Canada, but maybe she does go to Canada and find an orphan little girl that's a human, or orphan little boy that's a human, and she has to see what it really means to raise another human being, and we'll give her a better perspective. One thing we never talk about in the human world, and that's the world I'm in, is that we never talk about that the lack of understanding, and there is a lack of understanding of one another in the human world. So I think Detroit Become Human, and I don't know if it should even be called that for their next game. I think it should be just a different name. And I think, just my opinion, go towards a different kind of gameplay style for their next game as well. Because they've done, you have proven that you make the best interactive perspective game. You've proven that. Now, I think for those that make, I think it's Quantum Dream. It's Quantum Dream? Yeah, it's Quantum Dream. You should prove that you're able to make a different kind of game with different kinds of mechanics. I'm pretty sure Sony's other first-party studios would help you. And I think it would be a great idea for them to expand their mind and move their next game in a different direction. Because the storyline, the storyline is top-notch. You can say whatever you want about their games, but that storyline is next generation, like in the way it makes you feel. Now, if you can accomplish something with good gameplay that is not just you pressing buttons and stuff, maybe there's more button interaction, maybe there's shooting mechanics, who knows, I don't know, but maybe you can do that with your next game. Oh boy, maybe you do that, and I think it'll be great. I think you'll get a Detroit, you'll get another God of War game. I don't think Kratos is going to be in it, personally. I don't think Kratos is going to be in the next God of War. I think we're going to find out about Loki or Patreus, as he's called. And if they follow the Marvel formula, I think we also will find out about his daughter, who's definitely going to be part giant and part god and part human. So we're going to get another storyline with Patreus. I don't know if we're going to get another storyline with Kratos. I'm just being honest when it comes to that. Then we move on to Horizon. Now, I know that game, it was a lot of the things and a lot of their vision came true. But I think they could do more. And I think they should aim their sights a little bit higher for game number 2. So the next game should also focus on Aloy, but in a different sense, in my opinion. I think this should be a story about beyond the fact that of the things they got going on with Hades and stuff like that. I think they should show Aloy as being a straight woman. Please no more. Listen, we got Ayla, we got Chloe, who's bisexual. We got all these other characters that's, you know, okay, I get it, you know. Women licking women is all in, I get it. Now can we get some women that like men? You know, that's all I'm saying. People say, would you screw Aloy? Of course I would. She's a chick. Got a coochie, don't she? But, you know, I'm a loyal man. I'm not saying I would screw around if she was a real woman or a woman I care about. But I'm just saying that, yeah, I would like them to focus more on characters that are straight. You already have your gay characters and your biased characters and whatnot. And I still sit up here and tell people that don't believe me, I think the ideal of Ellie just being gay is like a wrong impression of the game you're looking at. Because if you're going to make a Last of Us Part 2, you're going to have somebody have kids, and lesbian and gay people can't have kids unless they fuck a straight person. So I'm just saying, you gotta get beyond that, and hopefully they do. Now, on to the next part of this subject. So these are some of the games we're going to get that's going to be sequels. What about original IPs? What about games that we've never played before? What about something new? I think Sony's working on their own big single player mixed with multiplayer first-person shooter game, because I don't think Sony can rely on third parties to provide them that. I think they have their own RPG. Strategy games, I don't think nobody really cares about that. I heard somebody in the podcast, Sony doesn't have a strategy game. Who plays strategy games on console? I don't think that's something we're into. RPG, I think maybe they could do their own survival horror game, or they could buy Resident Evil from Capcom, which I would like. I hope that Microsoft don't buy it, because then I would never play another Resident Evil game. Just being honest. Excuse me. So I think at the end of the day, we have to think beyond where our mind is at, what the gaming industry is at right now. We have to go beyond where we at. The game industry is mature. Now look, I didn't come on here today and I ain't bash nobody like I did last time, because I was just acting a fool. I was being disrespectful, and anybody that heard me talk crazy, I'm sorry. You know, it's a whole lot less cursing in this one as well. My girlfriend pointed it out to me. She's like, Honeycomb, you're cursing so much. I'm like, and I had to think about it, like, yeah, I am cursing a lot. Why am I cursing so much? And, you know, I have to come at it as being an adult. So, really, at the end of the day, I think we're going to look at trying to get gaming more adult, you know, more grown up. I hope. Let me say that again. I hope. And, you know, maybe we'll get to the point where we're all just enjoying our games and nobody's really acting foolish and stupid or nothing like that, which I don't want to happen anyway. So, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing for me. Let's talk about other things now. Let's talk about politics in America, because I keep rolling over into this, and I'm getting kind of upset about it, and I'm going to try to keep it PG-13, or PG, period. Okay, so now we are living in a situation where things are going, and black people are angry, white people are angry, everybody's angry. And the president, instead of anger and trying to tell people everything's going to be okay, he's the type of guy that likes to throw gasoline on a fire. Stay wary. Person at the wrong time to be president. You know, so I'm not judging in the next fashion of being, but been president. I'm gonna go flip this At a certain level, it is. Because to be honest, it is. They ran a person that could not win the presidency. And at the end of the day, we know Republicans don't have white people, black people's best interests at heart. They just don't. People often say to me, oh no, the Republican Party is good for... Not really. It's not good for nobody, to be honest with you. There's nothing that they do that helps people. Oh, we don't want welfare. Bull crap. The country helps you regardless, as long as you're an American citizen and sometimes when you're an immigrant. That's part of America's promise to people to come here. So the ideal of us moving towards a society that is less inclusive, in my opinion, is a bad idea. It's going to hurt America as a whole. You know, people say all the time that things are easy in this world. They're not. Things are never easy. Things are always complicated. Things are always hard. That's the world we live in, you know? So we gotta make sure to take care of our people. I think I like what I see was going on with a lot of young black people who care more about our community and trying to get together, but also I care more that at a little bit so we're starting to think of ourselves as Americans first and accept our skin color. But there's still some people that believe that, and there's nothing wrong with you putting your first, you know, your tribe or whatever you want to call it, you know? But we got to start thinking as a community, as a country. Because if that's not going to happen, I'm being honest with you good people, we need to start thinking about properly dividing the nation amongst different people and giving this people this and this people that, and some people want that anyway. If you really think about it, there's a number of people around this country that actually want the country to be separated anyway. There's always been people that thought that way. So this is not a natural new phenomenon. But the thing is America going to be fair? Because if you're going to separate the country, it's going to be war-like. There's going to be those that are going to want to put the country back together. There's going to be those who don't want to. You gotta realize that that's coming. You know, certain people want to live in la-la land instead of the reality of the moment that where we living at is how people feel. You know, we want to lie to ourselves and not be honest. America has always been a place where people have tried to strive to get along. You know, masses and all that yin yang, which is like bullshit. You got to realize what America is. It's always a fight of a group of people trying to dominate another group of people. That's how it's always been, as always will be. I think it's time for my group of people as a whole. I'm talking about all you niggas. The niggas that speak Spanish, the niggas that speak Rastafarian, the niggas that speak French, the niggas in Africa, the niggas in the Caribbean, the niggas that's over in Asia somewhere, the niggas in Europe. We have to come together as a community. The committed tree, the ummah, as the Muslims say, the community. Because at the end of the day, this separation, the biggest group in the world in 20 years will be black people. But there's no unity amongst us. It's like the people that foresaw this, saw making us disjointed from one another. You know, we use this term called African American, and it's not really a good term.